Hey guys, Michael here, co-founder of Studicata. Today we have a question about bar exam predictions. Mainly, can you predict what will be tested on the bar exam? In short, the answer to this is that I think you can responsibly predict what areas of law within a subject will be tested on the bar exam. The trouble with this idea comes when you try to take it to the next level and you try to predict entire subjects. Like saying that I think torts will not be tested on this bar exam, so I'm not going to worry about torts, right? That's a very problematic statement to make. But on the other hand, if you add in the condition precedent that if torts is tested, I'm confident that negligence will be an area of law that appears, that to me is a much more fair statement to make. But you have to have that condition precedent. If torts is tested, I can be confident that you're going to see an issue regarding negligence. If evidence is tested, I can be confident that you're going to see an issue regarding hearsay. If civil procedure is tested, I can be confident that you're going to see an issue regarding jurisdiction, whether that's subject matter or personal jurisdiction, right? If you have that condition precedent, I think you can make some accurate predictions, some fair predictions, some valuable predictions. Again, the problem comes when someone says family law has been tested the last 4 bar exam administrations. There's no way they're going to test it a 5th time, so I'm not going to worry about it. When you play that type of what I call the hot cold game, and even if you do that with specific rules, like hearsay has been tested the last 3 bar exams, they're not going to test it again. That's really problematic and I think takes it too far. And the risk reward is simply not there. Anytime you're making a decision that's really important, and there's few that are going to be as important as the bar exam, right? This is probably the most of all the hundreds of tests you've ever taken in your life. This very well could be the most important one. This is not the time to take unwarranted risks. So you really want to weigh the risk versus the reward in your preparation for the bar exam. So even if I gave you right now the exact subjects that were going to be tested on the essay portion of the bar exam, I said, here are the subjects that you're going to see on the essay portion of the bar exam. How much would that actually help your study time? Well, you say there's 6 essays that are tested and generally a couple are going to have overlap. So you could say on average about 8 subjects are tested on the essay portion of the bar exam. So if I could give you the 4 that aren't going to appear, then you could potentially, increase your efficiency 33%. You can now neglect 4 subjects that you would have had to study out of 12, 33%. And that's not taking into consideration, obviously, that the multiple choice portion of the bar exam is going to test those 7 subjects that are also going to be tested on the essay portion. So granted, even if I said torts wasn't going to be tested on the essay portion, you would still have to prepare for that for the multiple choice portion. You couldn't just neglect torts as an entire subject. But with that said, say that you could for the purpose of this exercise, to give you complete benefit of the doubt. Then you could reduce the amount that you have to study possibly 33%. And that's saying that you're not going to study entire subjects as a whole. You can still come to that exact same outcome, but in a much more responsible manner, right? You don't have to neglect entire subjects if the goal is to reduce your bar preparation study time by 33%. The much more responsible way to approach this would be to take each subject and reduce the bottom 33% from each subject. The rules and areas of law that are the least frequently tested, the rules that are the lowest priority. Remove all of those from the bottom of each subject, the bottom 33%. So you could say in each subject there's around 50 rules that have been tested over the last 20 plus years. Each essay, for the essay portion of the bar exam, if you look at each subject, maybe around 50 have been tested in each subject. So this would say you take the bottom 33%, the rules that have only been tested once or twice in each subject, and take those out of your preparation rather than throwing out entire subjects. And you're still going to save that 33% by doing that, but now you're not taking the risk of What if you think family law is not going to be tested and then it is tested and you're basically now, SOL. You can't write a single word because you haven't prepared for family law at all. At least this way, you're going to expose yourself to every single subject. So the risk reward is much better there. Now, I'm not saying that I would advocate that. Ideally, you don't want to shortcut your bar prep at all. And it is manageable, right? Especially if you have our materials, if you have the attack outline, link in the description as always, that's going to give you every single rule that's ever been tested on the bar exam, virtually every single rule that's ever been tested over the last 20 plus years, and under 200 pages. That's 10 to 15 pages per subject. That's extremely manageable. The root of this problem and why predictions exist and why you have companies charging students hundreds and hundreds of dollars to play the hot cold game and make predictions is because big bar prep companies are throwing thousands and thousands of pages of law at you. So you get to July, it's too much material, too little time. Students start to panic, realize they have to take gambles. How do I decrease, my bar prep study time because this is too much, I have to. They start trying to make these predictions and guess. I don't think family law is going to be tested. I don't think business associations is going to be tested. It's cold. It's been tested the last 3 times. No way they're testing again, so I'm going to neglect it. I see this happen, and I see students get burned every year by doing this. If that's the goal, if shortcutting is the goal, like I said, there's a much better way to go about that. Rather than, throwing out an entire subject, reduce that bottom end, those low priority rules, the rules that have only been tested, no times or 1 or 2 times, and you can still get burned doing that. But anytime you make a gamble, right, that's by definition the definition of gambling or taking a risk. You can lose that gamble. But ultimately, I think the risk reward from a probability standpoint is much better there because now you're exposing yourself to everything. So again, the ultimate answer to all of this is you shouldn't be having to make predictions about subjects at all. If you have a way to condense the materials down, obviously it's Studicata, that's what we're built for with our attack outline. But if you have a way to make bar prep more manageable, you have that attack plan, then you're not going to have to worry about making these types of predictions. It's all going to be there for you. Then you make your whole bar preparation manageable and you avoid this whole concept of predictions, which of course would be my #1 recommendation. So to bring this full circle back to the original question, can you predict what will be tested on the bar exam? To some degree, yes. If you're talking about areas of law within a subject, you can do that responsibly. If you're talking about subjects as a whole, I don't think that's responsible, nor do I think there's utility there. There's little efficacy, little utility. I see no benefit in doing that. So really, I would just focus on getting that attack plan, a way to condense it down so you don't have to worry about making these types of bar exam predictions. But anyways, guys, I know your time's limited. I'll leave you to it. I wish you all the absolute best in your preparation for the bar exam, and I'll see you at our next video.